Now let's talk about the new Rotary Service Project Center. As you might have known, the Rotary Showcase was retired last year, and Rotary International launched the Service Project Center. And it was really created to capture and share Rotary's service projects and Rotary service stories. The vision for the Service Project Center is really to be the showcase for all of our Rotary service projects, to showcase that we're people of action and really show what we're doing. So to celebrate your club, to celebrate your successes, but also to engage other clubs and other potential partners. So what we're going to do in this next session is go through some tutorial of the new Service Project Center. We're going to talk about some of the elements that were brought over from Rotary Showcase, but we're also going to explore some of the new elements that RI has incorporated into the Service Project Center. So you'll see on the screen here some of the new elements that I think are really cool features. If you've used Rotary Showcase, you might have seen some of these features before. If you haven't used the Service Project Center, then or Rotary Showcase, a lot of this is going to be new content to use for you, but I want you to bring this back to your club and talk to your service project chair about it, and talk to your other club leaders about it, because it could be a really helpful tool when you're trying to resource other contacts and support for your upcoming service projects this year and next Rotary year and down the road. So the Service Project Center launched on August 1st of 2024. So it's been out for a few months, but it's still a new tool, and it's continuing to get new features and just add improvements along the way. There are some similarities to Rotary Showcase, as I mentioned, but this is a newer and a faster user experience. There's newer technology, and as I said, there's new features as well. One of the really cool things is there's a mobile-friendly version, so you can access the Service Project Center. And if I say SPC, that's the Service Project Center acronym. But if you access it from your phone or a tablet or any other mobile device, then the view is compatible to those devices. You don't have to access it just from a desktop to view all the features. Another cool feature we're going to explore is the Google Maps. So we're collecting more accurate data with regards to locations of the projects that our clubs are doing. And it's also easier to share projects on social media. So there's a better social media sharing experience in the Service Project Center. One thing that I love is that all current club officers can manage their club's project. Before in Rotary Showcase, it was very limited who had access to it. Now members can add projects to the Service Project Center. So if you're running a fundraiser or running a project and you want to upload that data to the Service Project Center, you don't have to find your club president or your club secretary to access and input that data. You can go in directly and have that access and make modifications and continue to add data as you implement and execute your project. As with Rotary Showcase, you can connect with other project partners, and that could be clubs, it could be sponsors, it could be non-governmental organizations that you want to partner with. So there is not a login, just like the Learning Center and the Brand Center have recently migrated over to platforms where you don't have to be a member and log in to access a lot of the information. The Service Project Center does not require login either in order to view the projects. Now, if you want to add a project, you do have to be a member and you do have to log in. And if you want to make any modifications, you also have to be a member and log into your account. So there's a lot of really neat features, and we're going to explore how to add a project into the Service Project Center. I might go through some of these slides a little bit quickly, but it really is self-explanatory once we hop onto the Service Project Center on what information you want to input. You don't have to fill out all of the criteria and all of the forms in order to upload your project. You can have a limited amount of data just to get your project rolling, and then continue to evolve and add additional information as you execute the project. The URL to take you to the Service Project Center is spc.rotary.org, and you'll see kind of what the homepage looks like just there on the screen. We're going to go through a tutorial of what the components of the Service Project Center are entailed. There's the current campaigns. So if I were actually live on the website, you can scroll down to closed campaigns as well. So you can view past projects, but the current campaigns allows you to view projects as well as add new projects. Last Rotary year, more than 120,000 service projects were added. It's a really great way to see the positive impact of Rotary service in our communities and around the world. So even if you don't have a project right now to add to the Service Project Center, go online and check it out and just view what's available. You might be inspired by some of the projects that are on the Service Project Center and get some ideas of things that you want to implement in your club. So here's another view of how you can browse the projects. That's one of the tabs when you go to the homepage. You can click on Browse Projects, and there's a couple of different ways you can browse the projects. The new Service Project Center has many more criteria that you can utilize to find projects. It has a lot more criteria you can enter or search for than Rotary Showcase. For example, and I'll take you there to the map view, but you can actually navigate by location. You can search by language, by club type, by project type, by area of focus. So if you're looking for clean water and sanitation projects, for example, you can search by that. If you're looking for specific clubs, you can search by the club name. So you can enter your search criteria here, and there's even a check mark here to only view projects that have photos. Which is kind of interesting, but maybe that will narrow your search down to projects who are a little bit more evolved. Let's go over to the map view. So I really like this feature as well, because if you go to the map view, you can scroll around the globe, sort of like if you're on Google Maps, and you can pinpoint different areas. So if you want to do a project in a specific country, you can locate that country and see what projects are being posted on Service Project Center in those different locations. If you click on the marker for the project, it will bring up the name of the project that's being implemented in that area that was posted by that club, and it gives you just a brief description of the dates. You can see the project here has a start date but not an end date yet, and it just has a brief description of what the project is. Now, if you actually click on the project, there'll be a hyperlink there where it says Clayton Rotary Club and the name of the project. There's a hyperlink there that will direct you to the project page where there's a substantial amount of information. So it will tell you where it's located and the resources, including if it's grant funded, what other resources have been offered to support that project, volunteer hours. So there's a lot of data that you can enter that will populate here if someone is searching for your project. So I just thought that was a really neat feature that Rotary added to the Service Project Center that we didn't have before. And they are continuing to evolve the integration with Google Maps to make it more effective when you're searching. So for example, you can search for projects in your area and see what other clubs are doing throughout the United States, for example, doing close to you. So let's talk about how you can enter projects into the Service Project Center. One of the first things that will pop up, or the first thing if you go to add a new project, is your project already listed? So you can see, I'm going to back up here really quickly. You can see the tabs on the Service Project Center. If you're not logged in, this My Club's projects will not appear. So you have to be logged in order to view your club projects as well as add a new project. Otherwise, you'll just be able to browse the projects and the campaigns. So this is the view when you log in. You can click on My Projects and see what your club is doing. You click on Add a New Project, and it will ask you to check the box saying that you have already reviewed your club projects and you're confirming that your project isn't already listed. Now in Rotary Showcase, since we had limited access of who could add the projects, we wouldn't really run into this issue. But now, since everybody in your club could be adding the projects, we want to make sure that your secretary is not adding the same project as the service project chair, as the PI chair. So we only want that project in the Service Project Center one time. So you just click the box and it'll let you continue. And then you'll say, is it established project, proposed project seeking partner? So it's going to ask you some questions before you start to add the data to your projects. And then we're going to tell you then you're going to tell Service Project Center about your project. So make sure you have a title for your project. just a short few-word title that identifies what your project is, and then you can have an overview, a shorter description of what the project is, and then you can see at the bottom there's more the opportunity to add more details about your project. And we talk a lot about using AI, so you might consider typing these prompts into ChatGPT or a similar platform and utilizing AI to help you come up with good descriptors and good overviews of your project. And then you can check the areas of what your project is, the project location. So that would be the city and state or the address where the project is being implemented. It might be a regional project or multi-city project. So you can identify the project location on this screen. And if you don't have all of the data, then you're not required to enter everything, but it's really important that you enter as much information as possible, especially if you're adding your project so that you can seek out potential partners. And there's the funding source module there, so drop-down area where you can select if it's grant funded, if it's funded by private donations, funded by partners, etc. And then we move on to part 4, community needs. It's always good to conduct a community assessment, and there's a hyperlink there for community assessment tools where it gives you a little bit of prompting. You can upload documents here as well. You can add links in your descriptors, and again, just add as much information as possible about the assessment, the sustainability of the project, and any other information you can come up with that would be beneficial to those that are viewing your project. Rotary Project Partners, this is, an opportunity to share other clubs that you're partnering with or other organizations that you're partnering with. There's also a place to add the project contacts. Disclaimer, if you add a project, so if you add a contact and you put your information in there, it does not share your email. So Rotary has a privacy policy where if another club or somebody views your project and they want to get in touch with you, it doesn't provide your contact information. It is set up to where they fill out a kind of like a contact us form, and it will direct an email to you, but your contact information is not given out. And then there's some Rotary partners that you can select if you're partnering with any of the official organizations that are partners with Rotary. Photos are always great to add. You can upload videos as well. Short plug for Chris's webinar. Next month, we're going to talk about how to create cool videos, especially in Canva. That was the flyer that Caroline was working on in her presentation on the Brand Center. But you can add videos about your project, you can add photos, and you can add hashtags as well to make your project more recognizable. Difficulty level, if you want to get more in depth on how advanced your project is, you can select basic, intermediate, or advanced. The difficulty level of planning and executing the project, and then project engagement. And then I mentioned earlier, you can search by project language. So there's an opportunity to select your language there. This engagement tracker is really helpful because you can track the number of hours that your club has put in, the people who volunteered those times, the in-kind and the cash contributions. This is great for clubs from a historical perspective. If you have projects that you implement or have had running multiple years in a row, you can go back and use this engagement tracker to see how much money you've raised and how many volunteer hours you've put towards this project over the years. So that's a really cool feature for your club to have from the historical perspective. And then again, just click the box on you understand that all of the information you provided is legitimate, and read the disclaimer, publish the project, and you're live and ready to go. So that was a really, really quick tutorial of the Service Project Center. Please go through and do your own research on it and look at some of the other projects that are posted. As I mentioned, there's been a lot of activity on it since it launched. If you were using Showcase before, then your projects would have been integrated into Service Project Center. So any projects you had previously posted on Rotary Showcase transferred over to Service Project Center. So you still have that data, but now you have these new features as well. And again, as I mentioned, Rotary is continuing to have new improvements to the Service Project Center. The projects near me, I mentioned the integration with Google Maps is continuing to evolve. Improve project input, output, the data collection there is continuing to improve. And then the integration with the Grant Center is really cool. So they're working on that to where if you have grant projects that you're working on, that integration feature will help populate the data into Service Project Center as well. So you have it stored in one centralized location.